Deep within the encrypted labyrinths of the internet, on a forum dedicated to the exploration of the unknown, a cryptic message appeared. It was a simple post, a single grainy image of a hand-drawn map. It pointed to a location deep within the Siberian Wilderness, marked with a single phrase in Cyrillic, "The Library." I, a lifelong scholar of the strange and unexplained, was immediately captivated. The coordinates led to a desolate region of the Siberian tundra. It was a place untouched by modern civilization, a vast expanse of frozen earth and howling wind. The journey was perilous, fraught with the unforgiving challenges of the Arctic. Yet, the lure of the unknown, the promise of a discovery that could rewrite history, fueled my every step. The image from the forum post, crudely drawn as it was, hinted at something extraordinary. It depicted a structure of impossible geometry, a series of interconnected chambers arranged in a pattern that defied logic and reason. It was as if the architect had sought to capture the very essence of some cosmic enigma. The journey was arduous. The biting wind, a constant presence, seemed to mock my every step. Days blurred into nights under a sky illuminated by the ethereal glow of the aurora borealis. I navigated by the stars, my compass a fickle guide in this land of magnetic anomalies. The terrain grew increasingly treacherous. Jagged ice formations rose from the frozen earth. Crevasses hidden beneath a thin veil of snow threatened to swallow me whole. My supplies dwindled with each passing day. Yet, the closer I got to the marked location, the stronger the pull became. It was as if the very wilderness itself was conspiring to both hinder and guide me, testing my resolve with every step. The isolation was absolute, broken only by the howl of the wind and the distant cries of unseen creatures. The world I knew, the world of human civilization, felt like a distant memory. After weeks of relentless travel, I arrived at the coordinates. The entrance was almost perfectly camouflaged, a subtle break in the monotonous white expanse. It was a circular opening leading down into the earth. The descent was a journey into the belly of the earth. The air grew colder with every step. The silence was absolute, broken only by the sound of my own breathing. The tunnel, carved with an unnatural precision, seemed to hum with a faint, almost imperceptible energy. The air grew heavy, thick with the weight of centuries. The temperature dropped, a stark contrast to the biting wind above. The tunnel, far from crude, was a marvel of engineering. Its smooth obsidian-like walls reflected the faint light of my headlamp with an unnatural clarity. As I descended deeper, the faint hum intensified. It resonated through the tunnel, through my bones, through my very essence. It was a symphony of the unknown, a siren song beckoning me into the depths. I felt a mixture of trepidation and excitement, an intoxicating cocktail of fear and exhilaration. The tunnel opened into a vast cavern, its ceiling lost in an impenetrable darkness above. The air was cold, still, and heavy with the scent of something ancient and otherworldly. Before me stood the library, just as the forum post had described it, a monument to impossible angles and unnerving symmetry. Shelves crafted from a dark, unknown metal stretched endlessly into the gloom. They were filled with books, scrolls, and tablets of every conceivable material. Some were bound in leather, others in metal, and still others in materials I could not identify. The silence was absolute, broken only by the sound of my own breathing. It was a silence that spoke volumes, a silence pregnant with the weight of untold millennia. The air hummed with an unseen energy, a palpable tension that set my teeth on edge. I ran my hand along the spines of the books, their titles a jumble of unfamiliar scripts and symbols. They were cold to the touch, as if the very knowledge they contained was anathema to human warmth. I felt a sense of awe mingled with trepidation, a primal fear of the unknown that gnawed at the edges of my rational mind. Section 5. Whispers from Beyond. Ancient Texts and Forbidden Technologies. The library's contents were a testament to an advanced civilization, one that predated human history. I found texts written in languages that had been lost to time, star charts depicting constellations that no longer existed, and schematics for devices that defied the very laws of physics. One particular chamber, located deep within the library's labyrinthine depths, was filled with strange artifacts. There were shimmering orbs that pulsed with an inner light, intricate metal contraptions that hummed with unseen energy, and crystalline structures that seemed to refract the very fabric of reality. I spent days, weeks, perhaps even months within the library's confines. Time seemed to flow differently here, its passage marked only by the slow, steady drain of my dwindling supplies. The outside world, with its petty concerns and trivial pursuits, faded into insignificance. The deeper I delved into the library's secrets, the more I realized the profound implications of my discovery. This was not just a repository of lost knowledge, it was a gateway to realms beyond human comprehension. It was a testament to the boundless possibilities and terrifying implications of a universe far stranger than we could ever imagine. Section 6. The Allure of the Unknown. Obsession takes root. The library's hold on me was insidious, its influence seeping into my waking thoughts and dreams. I became obsessed, driven by an insatiable thirst for knowledge, and a growing fear of the secrets I might unearth. I neglected my physical needs, my body growing thin and weak. Sleep became a distant memory, a luxury I could no longer afford. I was a prisoner of my own making, ensnared by the library's allure. The line between reality and delusion blurred. I began to hear whispers emanating from the stacks, voices speaking in languages I couldn't understand but felt in the depths of my being. The symbols on the walls, once indecipherable, seemed to writhe and shift before my eyes, hinting at a deeper, more sinister meaning. One particular book, bound in a skin that felt unnervingly human, called to me with an irresistible allure. Its pages, filled with intricate diagrams and disturbing illustrations, seemed to pulsate with a life of their own. I knew, with a certainty that defied logic, that this book held the key to unlocking the library's deepest secrets. Section 7. A Warning Unheeded. The Book That Spoke Back. The book's pages were filled with warnings, written in a language that seemed to burn its way into my mind. "Stop reading," one passage screamed. "Turn back while you still can," another implored. But the allure was too strong. The library had sunk its claws into me, and I was powerless to resist. I had to understand the true nature of this place and the beings who had created it. The book seemed to pulse with an alien energy, its pages radiating an unnatural heat that scorched my fingertips. The air around me crackled with static, and the shadows in the chamber seemed to writhe and contort, as if alive with some unseen menace. I pressed on, my heart pounding in my chest, my mind teetering on the brink of madness. I devoured the book's contents, each cryptic passage, each disturbing illustration, pulling me further into its web of cosmic horror. I felt a presence growing within the library, a malevolent consciousness awakening from its slumber. Section 8. The Lines Blur. Reality and Nightmare Converge. As I delved deeper into the book's forbidden knowledge, the line between reality and nightmare dissolved. The library's shelves seemed to twist and turn, forming an endless labyrinth from which there was no escape. The whispers grew louder, transforming into guttural voices, chanting in unison. Shadows danced at the periphery of my vision. I felt a presence behind me, watching, waiting. The very air within the library felt charged, alive with a malevolent energy that pressed down on me, suffocating me. The temperature plummeted, and a bone-chilling coldness seeped into my bones, a harbinger of the cosmic horror that awaited me. I tried to scream, but no sound escaped my lips. I stumbled back, my hand brushing against a cold metallic surface. I turned, my heart pounding in my chest, and found myself staring into a mirror. Section 9. A Chronicle of Despair. Trapped within the pages of time. The reflection staring back at me was not my own. It was a grotesque mockery of humanity, its eyes burning with an unholy light, its skin stretched taut over a skeletal frame. And then I understood. I was not just reading the library's secrets. I was living them. My every action, every thought was being chronicled within its endless shelves. The book in the reflection's hand, a mirror image of the one I had been reading, lay open to a page that depicted my arrival at the library. The details were chillingly accurate, from the fear in my eyes to the trembling of my hands. The realization hit me like a physical blow. I was trapped, my essence bound to this place for all eternity. The library, it seemed, was not content with simply collecting knowledge. It craved the essence of those who dared to unlock its secrets. Section 10. The library's grip, a haunting conclusion. My screams echoed through the empty chambers, a testament to my despair. But there was no one to hear me, no one to save me. The library had claimed me as its own, and I was doomed to wander its endless shelves for all eternity. Perhaps in time another curious soul will stumble upon this place. Perhaps they will see my warnings etched upon the walls, feel the echoes of my despair resonating through the stacks. Or perhaps they too will succumb to the library's allure, adding their own tales of horror to its ever-growing collection. The library that shouldn't exist. A place of wonder and terror, of knowledge and despair. A place where time has no meaning, and the lines between reality and nightmare blur. A place where I am now, and forever will be, a prisoner of my own curiosity.